You're watching Channel 37, WHXN, New Salem.
Channel 37's After Midnight brings you nothing but international masterpieces, so long as they're about kids getting ate by a house.
Hello and welcome to Channel 37's After Midnight. I am Dan, and with me are Dave.
Hello.
And Will.
Oh my, that's naughty.
And joining us this time around is our friend Kevin Cafferty from the Best Stuff in the World podcast. Kevin, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about this film.
Yes, and what film is that?
We are discussing 1977's House, or as it's sometimes known in Japan, Hausu.
House.
私あなたを救えなかった。
I see in your eyes where tomorrow is hiding in my heart. There's a bell ringing loud at the touch of your lips. Down the rainbow, I'm sliding. Little arrows keep falling as thick as a cloud.
眩しくて怖いのよ。日の光が。かからないわ。故障よ。
A horror comedy film from Japan, which tells the story of 7 schoolgirls who, much like the Smurfs, are all named after their one personality trait, who go to one of their aunt's houses on a school break, and the house eats them all. Like in some ways, it's sort of like Evil Dead style swallowing their soul, and in some ways, like they're literally eaten by the house. And that is the film. It is very, I feel, unique and strange. So when Dan asked me to come up with films that were either bad or that were very WTF, this was one of the first ones that sprung to mind. In terms of, and honestly, I had not seen it in a couple of years, but I remember watching it with some friends and thinking like that is one of the most singular and strange film going experiences I've ever had. And it was great to revisit it with kind of a different lens.
Very cool. Dave and Will, had either of you seen this movie before?
Oh, God, no.
Will, you have?
Yeah.
Okay. This was actually, I've seen clips of it, but I've never actually watched the whole thing front to back. And this was my first time actually sitting down and saying, I'm going to have this experience tonight. So Kevin, what is your history with this movie? Like, when did you first kind of encounter this, and how did that happen?
Well, one of the things I find interesting about this movie is it's from the 70s, but it didn't really get any kind of American release until around 2009, 2010, which for something so weird, I find that odd because when I was in my teens and 20s, I was deeply interested in kind of weird cult movies, particularly from, Japan or Hong Kong or China. And this was not on my radar at all then. And you'd think it would be because this is in a class of its own, even amongst, strange Asian cult cinema. But for some reason, someone decided to give it an American release around 2009, 2010. And I think its cult grew from there. I mean, the Criterion Collection put it into their release slate. You can find it on the Criterion channel now. It's on HBO Max. It's a pretty easy to access film at the moment, but for the majority of my life, it was not. And I had heard, oh, this movie's really crazy. So naturally my curiosity was piqued. And I watched it with a couple friends one night when it was, on one of the streaming services. And we were all, it's rare, I think, when you hear that a film is kind of really bonkers and it actually lives up to those expectations. I've been disappointed a lot in that area. And with House, I was not disappointed in the least.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. Oh, guys, you got to see this. This is crazy. This is the goofiest shit you've ever seen in your life, man. And then it's just kind of, okay. No, that was, yeah, no, really, it was. It was fine. Thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Dave, this was your first time seeing it.
Yes.
Can you tell me what was going through your mind as you were watching the events of House unfold?
Well, firstly, I have been instructed by Gillian, my partner, to convey to Kevin her deepest thanks for bringing this film into her life. Because we watched it together last night and she absolutely adored it. She described it as the anti-Suspiria.
That is a good way of putting it, actually.
Oh, yeah.
My initial reaction at the end of it was, I like it and I'm not sure why. But sort of having given it some pondering, firstly, you will never, if you're listening to this and you've not seen it, you will never see a film like this. Like, this is very, very unique. I think the performances of all the main cast are really good, especially when I found out that none of them had any real acting experience. But they just sort of draw you in, and you're just sort of rooting for this like lovely little girls day out to this house, even knowing that sort of like, I mean, obviously I knew they were going to come to a bad end. I didn't know the exact details of it, but like, bunch of teenage girls in a house in a horror film, you know that's not going to go down well. But yeah, I found like the characters were all unique. They were endearing in their own way. I found myself really kind of pulling for the duo of Prof and Kung Fu. I found the stepmother character hilarious because apparently she brought her own wind machine with her everywhere she went.
I like that she's like in scenes with other characters and she's got like her scarf flowing in the breeze and there's no wind for any other character.
I did speculate it was possibly flatulence. She's just constantly passing wind as she wears a lot of chiffon to try and style it out. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this. Like, yeah, it's bizarre, it's weird. It there are times when it's like an episode of The Monkees. But yeah, and while all the characters meet an unpleasant end, it's kind of like, it's still kind of weirdly wholesome in a way that I can't quite explain how. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dave. And Will, how about yourself? What are you thinking about this one?
So I think I first saw this about 2021 or so. And a friend of mine had been recommending it for years, and I was just like, okay, I'll watch it eventually. I'll watch it eventually. It just kept on getting kicked down the hill. And then eventually I was like, okay, it's Halloween season. I'm gonna watch a bunch of horror movies. Let's watch this. I went in basically just seeing the poster and being completely surprised because I was not prepared for just how gloriously fuck nuts insane the film is. Like, it's like so much of the film is just running on this gorgeous nightmare logic that nothing makes sense, but it makes sense in its own weird way. Like, people are getting eaten by pianos and smiling about it. Not people are attacking posters of cats and then bleed and fill an entire room with blood. And that's the thing, like, it's also beautiful to look at. Like, there's so many like great shots in the film. Like, there's a sense of artifice to a lot of the film, which I find really interesting. And yeah, I've had a good time with it both times I've watched it. It's just like an entirely unique film, and I don't think anyone's ever made a film like it before and ever will.
There was a period in my life where I was a professional video editor. And one of the rules as a video editor that's kind of hammered into you is that editing should be invisible and you should not use a bunch of the tricks that are available to you, like crazy wipes and whatnot. And one of the things I like that director Nobuhiko Obayashi does in this film is he completely ignores that unwritten rule. He uses every crazy in camera or editing trick you can possibly do. He was a commercial director, and this whole movie is kind of edited like a commercial, which is, I think, one of the reasons why you said it was like kind of sweet. It's like, this is not a scary movie. Like, at no point in this film am I like jumping out of my seat or like, oh, there's a sense of impending dread. It's got a weird joy to it.
Yeah, like the only real jump scare in the entire movie is when it does that smash cut to the ramen guy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. And you see that guy, and you just, but you're right, actually, now that I think of it, because that's like the only time when I see this movie, and I'm like, ugh. Right? Just like, I don't want to see what's happening on screen right now.
I will say the interesting thing about watching this a second time, because the first time I watched it, I was wholly engulfed in people getting eaten by pianos or attacked by mattresses or, shoved into clocks or, the room filling up with blood. And like, that was my takeaway from it. And on this viewing, the film it reminded me of the most was Godzilla, because I was like, oh, this is kind of a genre film that is also about the trauma of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I didn't pick up on that on my first viewing. And on the second viewing, it's like in there literally as text in the film, like when the aunt talks about how her husband goes off to war and you see the mushroom cloud and one of the girls says it looks like cotton candy. But then it's like, it's not shown again for the rest of the film, but it's there.
I thought there was a kind of a real anime feel to this as well, in terms of like the way the characters behaved. Especially there was a bit when there's they Kung Fu kind of breaks into a cupboard and a couple of characters get mice on them, and they just kind of react to that kind of over the top reaction that you could see them doing in a sort of like with lines around their head and stuff in an anime. And I thought there was sort of like, if this had been animated, it would have been equally as effective. But yeah, the fact that they kind of pulled that off in sort of live action at that time is really, really good.
Yeah, I actually had the exact same reaction as you, Dave. I was like, this really, because of the heightened emotions and the over-the-top line readings, I also kind of really did feel like a lot of this did feel like sort of a dubbed anime sort of thing. Sort of a, oh my God, gorgeous, why are you so mean? Kind of thing. Like, people don't talk like that, but they do in the anime. And a lot of those same line readings were happening here, and I appreciated that for that same reason. Like I said before, this was my first time actually sitting down and watching this movie, although Wendy has been trying to get me to watch it for a while. Not like pushing me towards it, but it's like, what are we going to do tonight? Well, we've got this list of movies and houses usually on it.
Had Wendy seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Wendy's seen it. Well, she watched it with me this time, but also she has seen it multiple times before. This is one of her go-to horror movies for the same reasons that everybody else is saying. Which is to say, I really enjoyed it. I really thought that this was absolutely terrific. Like, I knew I was probably going to enjoy it because I enjoy this type of thing. But I don't think I was prepared for how into this movie I was going to get when I watched it. Movies that kind of use the artificiality and language of filmmaking in their movie are like crack to me. That is something that I really, really enjoy. And this was that. Up to 11. This was an this honestly a lot of times looked and felt like a stage play. You kind of like had the theatrical flats acting as kind of backgrounds and landscapes and sunsets and things like that. This is like very clearly a movie that's made on a soundstage, and they're not interested in hiding that fact from you.
No, I was going to say there was some really nice juxtaposition with the scenery. Like when they first get off the bus, you get the kind of the beautiful kind of mountains and the grass in front, and then they're stood in front of a billboard, which is exactly a painting of that view. Which is like again, it's like a silly thing, but at the same time, I just kind of appreciated that, that kind of picture in a picture kind of thing. And I think, I think there's a lot of confidence in the way this film's made. Like, and it's not swagger; it's genuine confidence in the story that's being told and the way it's being told. Like, because I think that there is, and I don't think it would work anywhere near as well if it wasn't that kind of confidence to like the shots and the editing decisions and all the like I said that weird kind of crash cut between the noodle guy and Fantasy when she's kind of like and those kind of like weird little cutaway gags that were all the way through, like when they're talking about like Mr. Togo coming to rescue them, and like Fantasy just immediately has kind of there's almost like a whip cut to some sort of fictional thing where he's rescuing her on a horseback and stuff, and and it takes kind of like a real kind of like a real kind of confident person to be sort of throwing all of that into their film and going like, no, this is all good. Trust me, this is all going to work, and it does somehow.
Yeah, and again, we also get that with the juxtaposition of the fact that Mr. Togo is actually kind of a sleazy dipshit who who drives speed buggy. I'm gonna go to a house full of girls, kind of. But
how is he going to save any of them? I mean, I guess it says that the house eats unmarried girls, so I guess Mr. Togo, like by that rule, would be safe. Although he does get turned into a pile of bananas at the end.
Yeah,
anyway,
he's so inept he doesn't even make it to the house. The fruit guy takes him out.
Yeah.
That fruit guy was a trip. The watermelon vendor. Absolutely, like probably the most ridiculous character in a movie full of ridiculous characters.
He's really saying something.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess one of the things that I genuinely love about this movie is there is not another film that I can point to and say, oh, that's like House.
Yeah. It's true. Like, I believe it was you that said this, Will. There's very much a dream logic going on through most of this movie.
Yeah.
It kind of goes in waves from one thing to another. It just sort of all blends together while nothing makes sense next to the next thing that is next to, which is a sentence I just made up apparently. But somehow it all manages to kind of flow together, which is a strange thing. And there's also a lot of fairy tale imagery in this movie. I mean, the whole concept of the house eats the girls and then spits out their clothes is a very don't go in the woods. There's something that will eat you there thing that you would run into a lot in like European fairy tales all the time.
Yeah, the end credits, like that, the house in the end credits is very reminiscent of the house in Hansel and Gretel. Like it looks like a candy house.
Yeah.
And Obayashi took a lot of the plot beats from polling his 11-year-old daughter about what she found scary, to the point where she gets kind of a story credit in the credits. So a lot of the things like the mattresses, the piano, come directly from Obayashi's 11-year-old daughter, who does have a cameo in the film. I think is the girl who works at the shoe repair shop. And I think that is, like you had mentioned, like the fairy tale quality, Dan. I think that is directly attributed to that in terms of, and then this happens and then this happens. And it's not super connected, but it does have a dream logic. I just said there are no movies like House, but another movie I thought about on this watch was the Czech New Wave film Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, which is kind of another like young girl coming of age film with like crazy vampires and shit. But Valerie and Her Week of Wonders is a little bit more kind of linear in sort of the, I know what this symbolizes. Whereas I feel like with House, you would have to make a lot of stretches to be like, I know what the piano symbolizes. I think it's just pianos are scary.
Yeah. Well, while we're kind of name checking the Czech New Wave, a movie that is not 100 like super similar to this movie that I did kind of keep going back to was Daisies by Vera Hidalova, which was again a very thing. It's a thing where it's two young girls kind of coming of age, you know, in a weird situation. This being kind of being behind the Iron Curtain at a time when everybody was starving and not doing so hot. But it's like this series of unconnected sketches that somehow flow together. Yeah, it really, I think, works really, really well in that regard. To kind of jump to another thing, something that I was thinking about while we were watching this is it actually another movie it reminded me of, because it's such an obvious connection, is Bloodhook, which we watched for the show not that long ago. But in the sense that usually in a movie like this, where something is taking, like there's this band of kids and the house is taking them out one by one. Usually the cast is full of hopeless dipshits that you can't wait to see, what's about to happen to them. And in this case, everybody's actually a really likable character, and you're genuinely sad when they start to fall victim to the house.
Yeah, I like them all. I think they're all, I had mentioned they all have like one personality trait, but it's a good personality trait generally.
Yeah.
Prophet's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Kung Fu knows Kung Fu. Melody
and has her own
plays music.
superhero theme that kind of kicks in there whenever she does anything. It's just I love those bits.
Like she's going to punch the problem and that's going to solve it.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't.
And it's hard because I was rooting for them to get out, or for there at least to be like a final girl trope, and this movie doesn't even have that.
No.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, everybody falls victim to this house. Even the potential stepmother, who for some reason shows up at the house at the end.
I mean, she did say she was going at the start, but that was so long ago I'd completely forgotten about it by the time she turned up. Because it was weird, because I thought, the natural end of the film was just sort of fantasy lying in Gorgeous's lap, and the way that got a Gorgeous stares at the camera. It's like, right, okay, that cuts to black, bad things happen. But then we kind of get this extra, 5-10 minutes of the stepmother showing up and blowing about in the wind, and and then eventually kind of catching fire, which, it was good. It was just kind of like, oh, we're still going. Okay.
I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't say that one of the reasons this film was made is because Toho asked Obayashi to make something like Jaws. And I love Jaws and I love House, but they're not very similar.
Oh, Japan. I said the only other film I could probably put in vaguely the similar league, and it's but it's opposite ends of the table, is this bonkers Japanese horror film. I think it's about the sort of mid to late 2000s. It's called Dead Sushi, which is basically about zombie sushi attacking people, and it's something I've been meaning to put on the After Midnight list for a while now. But yeah, that's. I mean, it's bonkers in a very different way, but it is just absolutely just Cocoa Banana Pants crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, a movie that it actually reminds me of, and of course it came way before this other movie, so I'm sure that this was a direct influence, is I don't know if anybody's familiar with Joe Badon, but he made a movie a few years ago called Sister Tempest, which is actually something that I've mentioned about having on this show, which is, again, it's a movie about a woman kind of processing grief, but she's a woman who kind of grew up watching terrible television and movies. And so the entire movie is kind of told as film clips and different genres and, again, very artificial. And that logic, it's very much the same sort of logic as a movie like this. I'm going to be honest with you. Every now and then I'll be like, oh, I love this movie. We should do this. No, it's too weird for everybody. But every time that we do kind of do something that I'm a little wary on, people end up liking it. So maybe, maybe we should just do it.
Trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, just thinking about it now, so when I made the comparison to the Monkees earlier, I suddenly thought it's probably because of Head.
Yeah.
Because there is that kind of same kind of weird dream logic in head, and these kind of kids kind of running away from something that they can't stop, and one interpretation of the ending of Head is the bad guy cuts them all off at the end as well. So
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's right. That just literally occurred to me.
Yeah. I will say one thing that I was actually like really interested in checking out and made sure of is that all the people that you want to be 18 or over are in fact 18 or over in this movie. Because the 70s was a weird time.
Yeah, that was that was a worry.
Yeah. I was worried because like these do look like kids. I don't know, but I double checked and they're fine.
Yeah, and one thing I will say for this film is I don't feel like it feels particularly prurient or
No.
vicious, like, which I think helps it. Like it would be a less fun viewing experience if you felt like it was like using that lens. It felt to me like this was on the side of the teenage girls in as much as it's a movie about them all being eaten by a house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think part of it is to kind of add to that sense of making, because a lot of this film isn't so much about making you scared, it is making you uncomfortable. Because everything's a bit off, everything's not quite as it should be. I think maybe that it plays into that kind of thing of just kind of everything's a bit sort of at times. Like you're not actually scared, but you're just kind of like, oh, that feels a bit weird and off.
And I think again that ties into the fairy tale logic of a lot of it is, when people are looking for, the little sister that's gone away, and they go to the witch's house and the first thing they find is her clothes kind of hidden in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah. That
kind of thing. I think you're right. I think that there's nothing particularly sexual or perverted about this movie. It doesn't feel, you don't feel bad for, watching it. It actually feels like part of the experience that these girls are having.
Yeah, it's not lascivious, I don't think.
Yeah.
Though the one like sort of image that I did find to be like kind of disturbing in a scary way was when Sweet was in the clock.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the actor's face as well, just kind of like the sorrow that is very clearly on her face when she's in that sort of in that situation.
Like just kind of being consumed by the clock. I thought like that was actually kind of like I felt for her. Like, when Melody gets eaten by the piano, it is sort of so over the top and looks so fake that you're just kind of like, I've never seen something like this in a movie before.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like rubber legs kind of bouncing around.
Yeah. Or, when you see like Mac's like disembodied head, that you can tell that is a model or, someone using intense green screen effects.
Yeah. And again, the first thing that Mac's disembodied head does is bite Fantasy's ass. You're not supposed to be scared by it. Yeah. Sweet is ultimately killed by deathbed, the bed that eats people.
But the fact that the film is could have quite happily tootled along as just a girls having a lovely vacation film. Until, it's not really until there's a couple of slightly sinister things when the aunt first turns up, but
we're 35 minutes into this movie before anything kind of supernatural happens.
Exactly,
the movie's only 90 minutes.
The first thing that happens is Mac's floating head, and I was like, oh right, okay. And obviously, kind of the rest of it happens from there, and it's great. But equally, had it just been a film about 7 girls going on holiday, I probably would have been equally okay with that.
Because the first 35 minutes are not boring.
No,
because of all the crazy camera effects and the jaunty songs and the camaraderie between the girls on the train, and they're just having a blast. They're giving their phys ed teacher guff about having an arranged marriage, and I feel like that there is sort of this undercurrent of like marriage as a theme in this movie that comes up again and again in terms of the reason that the aunt has been possessed by the house is because her fiance went off to fight in World War II and didn't come back, and somehow the grief of that is what activated the house to consume unmarried women.
Not just marriage itself, but also the idea of marriage. Because, like, yeah, the fact that sort of the aunt just hung so much of herself on being married to her fiance. There's the whole thing of the idea that Gordis's father is remarrying, and that's something that Gordis is upset about. And like one of the few pictures, I think one of the few pictures she got of her mum was her in a wedding dress as well, and that's eventually how she ends up dressing as well. Is in like similar to her mum's kind of like a wedding outfit. So yeah, no, I agree. Marriage is very much marriage, and the idea of marriage, the kind of not just the institution, but the kind of the concept of a wedding is very much prevalent.
And I think this is a movie that holds up to multiple viewings because, like I said, I think the first time you view this movie, you're just sort of taken in by all the crazy shit that happens. Yeah. And it wasn't until I saw this second time that I started to notice, themes and it's like, oh, this movie's actually about something. Isn't that cute?
Oh. Yeah. I know that one of the things, as we were watching this movie, Wendy kind of kept yelling at the screen. She was very upset that Mac's whole personality trait is that she was fat. And she was maybe 5 pounds heavier.
Yeah, it was like, that irritated us as well. What are you talking about? She's just a normal-sized person.
Yeah. She's taking advantage of the fact that she has a metabolism that, doesn't hate her.
Yeah.
That is honestly like the wrongest note in the film for me.
Yeah.
Is this kind of weird body shaming of Mac. It I understand this movie was made nearly 50 years ago, and we don't know as much then as we do now, but that is one of the few times where I'm watching the film where I'm like, ugh.
It's like when she disappears, one of them speculates that she's gone to the potato farm nearby because she loves a baked potato.
But it's remarkable in a movie from the late 1970s that is all about young girls, just how infrequently we find ourselves having that reaction. This movie is remarkably progressive for its time in terms of how it portrays these young women. These are generally, in almost any other situation that doesn't involve getting eaten by a house, these are very competent women who kind of know how to do the thing they know how to do very well.
Again, a statement you can pretty much only say about this film.
Yeah, that's true. The house is eating us. I'll play piano at it. It's not going to help you.
Like the bit when Kung Fu's chopping wood and somebody gets attacked by the logs that come to life, and she kind of does her sort of superhero thing of kicking them all, and she's just like, huh. But then doesn't really think anything else of it. It's just like, well, that was weird.
Like, Fantasy spends most of the movie as the only person who realizes what kind of movie she's in, and the house and both the house and the aunt are literally taunting her. Like, I just looking at that scene where they're eating the watermelon, and the aunt literally just keeps on looking at her and showing like the eyeball in her mouth, and then going back to eating the watermelon.
Oh yeah, and I love the bit where she disappears into the fridge in front of Fantasy, and it's all kind of in the background, and then she comes into the foreground, like when Prof's opening up and showing she's not there, and she just looks at the camera like she's Bugs Bunny. She's like, "Ain't I a stinker?"
And Fantasy's probably the closest thing this movie has to a final girl, because she survives the longest, and then just kind of like goes into Gorgeous, who is possessed by the aunt at this point's embrace, and that kind of fade to black, and then we come up for the denouement. But I was really also like taking this viewing on the scene of Gorgeous sort of putting on the makeup and the mirror effects and her face kind of falling away. I like that. I watching it this time, I was like, the scene is really beautiful in a way.
And the bit where she kind of goes outside and starts singing the creepy song, and it's all sort of like it looks like a Bonnie Tyler video. It's all kind of like smoke machines on a sound stage, and she's walking around in a nightgown blowing in the wind.
Yeah, And like that, I live for that shit. So
Oh, yeah.
It's the juxtaposition of that song, because that feels like a very end of movie, we're home and we're safe kind of song, when in fact, no, not so much.
The fact that Melody keeps playing it on the piano is like you don't know any other songs? We're just playing the song that's in front of us, are we? Can we play something that's less creepy?
She learned to play the one song, and that's what she's going to play.
Like, had she played Chopsticks, she might still be alive.
I really dug the visuals of Prof getting dissolved in the blood or whatever that was. I thought that was a really cool looking death that was simultaneously horrifying. Like that's a legitimately terrifying way to go. But also it just looked great. And I guess apparently the director, they just kind of poured blue paint on her and hoped for the best. Like,
and it worked. And that's like another one of the things about this movie that I love. They're throwing so much shit against a wall, and so much of it is sticking.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel there's a lot of 80s music video directors must have seen this film at some point. The whole the glowing keys when Melody's playing the piano and stuff like that is like, feels like a lot of like this sort of stuff would end up sort of becoming making regular appearances in sort of like guys directing videos in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I guess in Japan this movie was something of a hit, but it did not spark a lot of copycats that I can tell, unless we haven't seen them.
My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that it financially did very well, but critically not so much.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Like it had a reputation as just being garbage, which what the fuck, you guys, you know?
I mean, I'm not even sure how you begin to jump on this bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's like how do you jump on this trend? What even is this?
Yeah, I don't think you can kind of sit down and say, I'm going to make a movie like House. Because I think that if you're trying to do this, you're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen for you.
Yeah, even Obayashi has made other films since House, and they're not this.
Like this definitely has. I have to wonder how much unused scenes are kind of sitting in warehouses because they didn't quite go right. They didn't quite do what he wanted it to do. And so, what we're seeing is like the 90 best minutes they came up with.
And I wonder how much of this is like Obayashi had done commercials. He'd never done a feature film before. And how much of this is like him, like kind of like Wells with Citizen Kane. Like no one had told him you can't do that. And so this might be the only comparison between House and Citizen Kane. No one had told him you can't do that. So he was just doing all this stuff that you sort of hadn't seen in a movie before.
Yeah. Sadly, Wells had to leave the piano eating scene for Ambersons.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Most of these girls were models that had appeared in his commercials before. Is that
my understanding?
That correctly?
That's my understanding. Yes. So they were not like in motion pictures like this, because I think Obayashi like wrote the script for Toho, and all of the Toho directors were like, "I'm not touching this goddamn thing," and then he put out a manga of it. And I think a radio play, and like that started to gain popularity. So then I think Toho was like, "Fine, you can direct it."
I wonder what a radio play of this would be like.
Yeah, because
how would that work?
It's so visual.
Yeah.
It's like put that back to back with the Hitchhiker's Guide radio play.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, but Hitchhiker's Guide. So much of the appeal of that is the written language that he uses, whereas this is just getting that by a house.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe the house in the radio play, the house is programmed by the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation.
Very possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand Toho being reluctant. Like, we're the rubber monster movie guys. Like, you want us to well, how do we do half of this?
And I guess nobody actually wrote a Godzilla script that was never filmed because, shockingly, it was too crazy.
Yeah, but Starlog wrote an article about it and was just like, yeah, it's getting made, and so that's why people even know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Starlog was always very optimistic.
Yeah, it's like those back pages of Comic Scene magazine when I was a kid. I was like, so many movies are going to get made.
Stan Soapbox told me that they're making a Daredevil movie. That's going to be so great.
Back in the day, we didn't need anything more reliable than the dude in the video store saying he heard it from someone.
Yes.
That counted as a source. He knew what he was talking about. He works in the video store.
Oh, he's got the ear of the industry, man.
Listen, Tim Burton's going to make a Superman movie. It's going to star Nicolas Cage, and it's going to be great.
And it's so strange that the best thing that came out of that entire situation was this documentary about how it didn't happen.
Yep.
I do wish that I could have witnessed the people who sort of like rediscovered it for kind of release in America, because you have to imagine that they're like, oh my God, we've got something here. The people who are going to like flip out over this are really going to flip out over this.
Who were the Alamo Drafthouse people of 2019 or 2020, whenever year it was that it came out? You know, like the people that just kind of discover these incredibly bizarre movies that they know, you know, it's not going to be a lot of people, but they're really going to dig it.
Because I was really lucky growing up in Providence, because there was a video store called Obsidian Video that specialized in nonsense like this, and they had a lot of bootlegs. That's how I saw kind of like the Todd Haynes, Karen Carpenter Barbie doll movie, and you know, a lot of the Russ Meyer stuff that was out of print, and a lot of bootleg stuff from Asia. And this was nowhere in the catalog, because we would scour that catalog to see like what's the craziest things we can watch.
Yeah. Well, from the sounds of things, I think it was originally going to get released in one of Criterion's Eclipse box sets, which I'm going to be honest, like I have never actually gone through one of those. So, and then people were actually interested in showing it in like repertory theaters and everything. So, and then Criterion is like, oh, there's actually a market to sell this as its own thing. And here we are.
Yeah, because it was fully ensconced in the Criterion collection by the time I discovered it.
Yeah. And it shows up like at the Brattle from time to time.
Yeah, I have to imagine the Alamo Drafthouse shows it. I think they showed it at the Brattle like last Halloween.
Oh, wow, cool.
Or like last spooky season.
Yeah, next time I'm definitely going to make sure I'm there for that. Because seeing this on a big screen with an audience would be incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Because I saw Chopping Mall at the Brattle, and we all had a wonderful time.
Yeah, we Wendy and I went to see the double feature of They Live and Josie and the Pussycats, and that was
oh, nice.
Oh wow! See, I saw a double feature of They Live in Chopping Mall.
Nice.
You can sue.
They're only pairing movies with They Live at the Brattle these days.
Well, They Live is a movie that pairs well with a lot of, it's like a fine wine.
Yes.
Yeah, we have that in Leeds. We have the Hyde Park Picture House, which is kind of like quite similar. It's like an old Victorian theatre that was like then a Victorian cinema, and they've kind of restored it. And still got like the two tiers. You've got the balcony seating and the stall seating and everything. It's lovely. But they do a lot of these. Like over kind of summer, they're doing Blood on Satan's Claw and The Wicker Man in one sitting. So we're definitely going to see Blood on Satan's Claw. Because, like, yeah, it's been on our list to kind of watch for ages, and then there's a chance to watch it on the big screen.
Yeah.
I think they recently just did Bleak Week, which is just all the most depressing, like Grave for the Fireflies. Like, yeah, it's a never-ending story. It's they're all like a week of the most just depressing films you can imagine.
That's actually a really brilliant marketing plan. I've never heard of Bleak Week, and I'm into it.
See, all the things that traumatized you as a small child
Yeah.
in one place.
On your way out, there's just like numbers for local therapists.
Yeah.
House would not play well on Bleak Week, though. So
No, it's far too happy despite what actually happens.
Yeah, it's true. Like, all these severed body parts are dancing around the piano and laughing and just having the best damn time.
Oh, the skeleton. I wanted to bring up the skeleton.
Oh,
because,
yes.
It's rarely foregrounded, but in a lot of these scenes, the skeleton's just kind of dancing a jig in the background.
Yeah, yeah.
Scenes.
just living his best death.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's actually, for me, it was kind of a this is what the movie is moment when I first saw that skeleton dance, this kind of dancing puppet being puppeted in the background. Because if you don't know what kind of movie this is yet, that tells you the kind of movie this is going to be. It's not a movie that takes itself seriously.
That is a very jaunty skeleton.
Yeah. We're all here to have fun.
Yeah, it's
And indeed, this is probably the jauntiest film about 7 teenage girls dying that you're ever likely to see.
Yeah. Love it so much.
I have one thing I really want to bring up.
Please do.
I am almost convinced that the directors for Super Mario 64 100% saw this movie, because seriously, the freaking piano in Super Mario 64 is the next closest thing to the piano in House.
I'll happily accept that as canon.
And I was going to say, but it didn't air here. Oh, but it's Japan. Duh. Toland. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I know.
I guess because I was dazzled by all the pretty lights last time, it was only on this viewing that I figured out that the cat's eyes glowing are what makes the house eat someone.
Yeah.
I will say that Wendy and I had an excellent time throughout the movie when we found out the cat is named Blanche. Just kind of throughout the course of the movie. I wish these kids weren't in this house, but they are, Blanche. They are.
I was sort of like torn. Was like, can I watch this in front of my kids, or do I need to wait till they go to bed? And I opted. It was TVMA, so I opted for waiting for them to go to bed. But I was like, is this a movie you could show kids? I guess probably not.
I mean, well, it really depends on how you feel about your kids seeing the human body, right? Like, that's basically it. There is that scene of Prof drowning and like kind of being twisted around in the blood. There's a very quick blink and you miss it. Oh, this movie is NC-17. There is one shot that was probably not meant to be in the final cut of this movie.
And also, given that it's actually literally based on children's nightmares, I feel that might be keying into something accidentally.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kevin, I want to thank you, for coming on and talking with us, and also just for bringing us this movie. This was a lot of fun, so we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I was really excited to have an excuse to revisit it and to chat about it with all of you.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And listeners, thank you for coming on and joining us. The world is an absolute cesspool. Please take care of yourselves. Drink your water. Go to bed.
Channel 37's After Midnight was presented by Will Ackerman, Kevin Cafferty, Dave Probert, and DJ Toland. Wait, where the hell was Norm Peterson?
なければ朝は来ません